Exposed. The hidden crisis in America's backyard: top 10 states where poverty prevails. Welcome back to our channel, where we shine a light on the unseen and unheard stories shaping our world. Today, we're embarking on a revealing journey through the top 10 states grappling with the highest levels of poverty in the USA. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated on our latest explorations. Let's unravel the threads of inequality and hope intertwined across the nation. In a country famed for its dream, millions find themselves living in a starkly different reality. Poverty in the United States isn't just a number, it's a reflection of systemic issues, unequal opportunities, and unfulfilled promises. Today, we'll look closer at the states where this reality is most pronounced, understanding not just the statistics, but the stories behind them. 1. Mississippi. Mississippi often ranks as the state with the highest poverty rate in the U.S. The causes are multifaceted, including a history of systemic inequality, lack of access to quality education, and limited job opportunities in high-paying sectors. The human side effects of poverty in Mississippi are profound, with individuals and families facing challenges in accessing basic necessities, healthcare, and adequate nutrition, leading to higher rates of chronic illnesses and developmental delays in children. The state's struggle with poverty is exacerbated by a lack of resources in many communities, particularly in rural areas. Government accountability in addressing these issues has been a topic of discussion, focusing on the need for targeted investments in education, healthcare, and economic development to provide a sustainable path out of poverty. 2. Louisiana. Louisiana's high poverty rates can be attributed to a combination of economic, social, and environmental factors, including the impact of natural disasters, a high unemployment rate, and systemic barriers to education and healthcare access. The human side effects here are similarly severe, with significant impacts on mental health, leading to higher rates of depression and substance use disorders. The state faces challenges in ensuring adequate resources are available to all, with poverty contributing to overcrowded living conditions and limited access to nutritious food and healthcare services. The role of the government in Louisiana involves improving infrastructure, healthcare access, and education systems to combat the long-term effects of poverty. 3. New Mexico. In New Mexico, poverty is significantly influenced by educational disparities and limited job opportunities, particularly in rural areas. The state has a diverse population, and poverty disproportionately affects minority communities, including Native Americans and Hispanics. The human effects include lower life expectancy, higher infant mortality rates, and increased prevalence of chronic diseases. New Mexico's struggle with poverty is compounded by a lack of resources in schools and healthcare facilities. Government accountability in New Mexico is critical in addressing these issues, with a need for policies that support economic development, educational equity, and healthcare accessibility. 4. Kentucky. Kentucky faces significant challenges with poverty, rooted in historical economic dependence on industries such as coal mining, which has seen a decline. This shift has left many without jobs and has contributed to a lack of access to education and healthcare, exacerbating the cycle of poverty. The human side effects in Kentucky include increased rates of chronic diseases, substance abuse, and lower educational attainment. The state's struggle with poverty underscores the need for diversified economic development and enhanced social services. 5. West Virginia. West Virginia's poverty is deeply connected to the decline of the coal industry, limited job opportunities in new sectors, and geographic isolation. These factors contribute to difficulties in accessing healthcare, education, and employment opportunities. The human impact of poverty in West Virginia is profound, with high rates of opioid addiction, mental health disorders, and chronic health conditions. The state requires comprehensive strategies that address the root causes of poverty, including investment in education, healthcare, and economic diversification. 6. Tennessee. Tennessee grapples with poverty related to low-wage jobs, lack of access to healthcare, and educational disparities. The human consequences of poverty include increased childhood adversity, health disparities, and limited social mobility. Tennessee's efforts to combat poverty involve addressing the healthcare gap, improving educational opportunities, and creating better-paying jobs. Government accountability in implementing and sustaining these efforts is critical for meaningful progress. 7. South Carolina. In South Carolina, poverty is influenced by historical economic patterns, educational inequities, and limited access to healthcare. The state sees significant disparities in income and health outcomes, particularly among rural and minority communities. The human toll of poverty in South Carolina manifests in higher rates of diabetes, heart disease, and educational challenges. Addressing these issues requires targeted investment in healthcare, education, and economic development, particularly in underserved areas. 8. Oklahoma. Oklahoma's high poverty rate can be attributed to economic dependence on volatile industries like oil and gas, alongside systemic challenges in education and healthcare access. The state faces significant health disparities, with poverty contributing to higher rates of mental health issues and substance abuse. Efforts to reduce poverty in Oklahoma must focus on diversifying the economy, improving access to quality education, and expanding healthcare services. 9. Alabama. Alabama's poverty is marked by deep-seated economic disparities, limited job opportunities in high-growth sectors, and educational challenges. The state struggles with access to healthcare and persistent racial and economic inequalities. The human effects of poverty in Alabama include high infant mortality rates, obesity, and lower life expectancy. Combating these issues demands comprehensive policies aimed at economic inclusion, healthcare access, and educational equity. 10. Arkansas. Arkansas faces poverty challenges related to economic reliance on low-wage industries, rural economic decline, and lack of access to higher education and healthcare. The state experiences high rates of child poverty, affecting educational outcomes and long-term economic opportunities. Arkansas's approach to addressing poverty includes initiatives to improve healthcare access, educational attainment, and economic development in both urban and rural areas. As we've uncovered the harsh realities of the top 10 states with the highest poverty rates in the United States, it's clear that the battle against poverty requires our collective effort and attention. These states, from Mississippi to Kentucky, show us that behind the numbers are real people facing real challenges every day. But there is hope, and change is possible with the right actions and policies. We must advocate for sustainable solutions, support local communities, and push for policies that address the root causes of poverty. It's time to take action and make a difference. We can start by educating ourselves and others, volunteering, and supporting organizations that are working to end poverty. If you're passionate about creating a more equitable and just society, join us in this journey. Subscribe to our channel, share this video to raise awareness, and engage in conversations that matter. Together, we can be a force for change, striving for a future where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Let's not just watch the change, let's be the change. Subscribe now, and let's build a better tomorrow, one step at a time.